if you have a talk with your wife about connecting more, and then you guys end up connecting more, you're going to have a lot more confidence initiating sex after like 2 weeks of you guys connecting so much more than you used to.
Welcome to What I Love About Sex, where some incredible guests and I, Steph Kanowski, will be bringing you the tools for improving your sex life with topics such as sex issues with your partner, sexual self-confidence, premature ejaculation, sexual shame, masturbation, sharing your fetishes, orgasmic pleasure, and more. Sex is still so taboo, and I personally believe that by improving our understanding and communication skills around sex, we can enhance our own self-pleasure as well as deepening our long-term romantic relationships. So listen in, try to stay open-minded, and let's get started.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode on the What I Love About Sex podcast. I'm going to give you 4 ways to improve your sex confidence because this is really important, and I feel like a lot of you guys don't do the work on what it takes to grow in your confidence, and this is why your problems come back over and over and over. If you don't do the work on yourself and feeling good about yourself and having confidence in who you are and how you come across to people and really actually genuinely loving who you are, because when you do, you don't worry so much about what people think of you. I mean, there's always going to be some extent of you worrying about what people think. We're human, right? That's going to happen. We fear judgment. But when you really know who you are and you like who you are, you don't struggle with things as much as sexual performance anxiety or just being terrified that your dick might go limp. Like you're not terrified when you really know who you are and like who you are, because you start accepting yourself and you're like, okay, I'm human. Shit happens. It's not always going to be perfect. That's okay. I know how to respond to something I'm uncomfortable with because I've done it before. You have this trust in yourself and you have belief in yourself and you have less fear of people judging you. And that means women judging you. So there's always going to be a little bit of it, right? Like I said, but you can control most of it. And that's by working on your sex confidence. So let's talk about the 4 ways. The first way you can build your sex confidence is simply by accepting who you are. Like I said, it's simple, maybe not easy, right? Because you men are somewhat striving to be this specific type of avatar that women are definitely attracted to, right? It's kind of like, oh, if I looked like that, I know I could get a ton of women. You have that image in your head of that guy. If you were that guy, you'd be the man, and every woman would just flock to you and love you and want to be with you forever. But by you having that avatar in your head that you're chasing, it's like you're trying to be someone else. You're not being yourself. And when you're not being yourself because you're trying to be some other guy, for instance, a great example is like if you feel like you have to be funny, like a guy who's really funny, so you like try to be him, or you think about the fact you have to be more like him, then the more energy you spend trying to be like him or feel the need to, the less energy you're using being actually present and being yourself, like being you and enjoying the qualities that you have that make you unique. And the only way you're going to believe you're attractive is if you're confident in your attraction, if you have a certain level of sex confidence. All right. And that's, like I said, number 1 is accepting who you are, not trying to chase to be that type of guy or be him as much as you possibly can. What are the qualities you have going for you that you think are attractive and great? And even accept the fact that you have some faults. Maybe you have things to work on. Maybe you get easily offended when it comes to women rejecting you. And if that's the case, how can you work on handling that to be the best version of you? If you stay focused on yourself and you accept yourself and just keep working on you and helping yourself grow, you will spend less energy trying to chase being this type of guy that you think all women will just run to. So self-acceptance. The second thing that you want to work on to build your sex confidence is attitude and mindset. So a lot of you have problems with sexual performance anxiety, for instance, because you look at sex a certain way, or you look at women a certain way. And maybe you have like this feeling of, oh, well, women are all judgmental. So if this happens, she's going to think this of me, right? And you make assumptions and you have this attitude of like, oh, women always reject me, or like sex never works for me. And it really comes from your beliefs. But when you talk like this and you have this attitude and this mindset of like, oh, this doesn't work for me, or this never goes the way I want it to, or all women are like this, all women think this, and fuck that, you're going to be stuck creating experiences that match that attitude and that mindset. So you got to switch the attitude and mindset. Like, for instance, when I thought that all men were shit, because there was a point in my life when I was so frustrated with men and I was like, fuck men, all of them are assholes. All of them just try to use women. And I knew I didn't want to feel that way. I didn't want to believe that, but I had so much evidence at that point to believe it. So I was like, how do I not believe this anymore? Because I know deep down I don't want to, and I want to change. So to shift those beliefs meant I had to be on the lookout for how men were good, and I had to find new evidence. And this drastically helped change my mindset and my attitude so much that I started a business working specifically with men. And like people were like, what the fuck? So that came from me having self-awareness of being like, wow, I don't like this quality or this thing about myself. I still accept myself and I love myself, but I don't like how I look at men. I don't think it's healthy. I don't want that for my life. I want to find a male partner. And how am I going to do that if I think men are assholes? So let me fix this part of me. Let me change it, right? So maybe you have to do the same thing with women or even your wife. If you're really frustrated right now and you feel like you're not getting anything, you feel like you're being deprived, let's say sexually in your relationship, how many other ways is she supporting you right now? How many other ways does she show you intimacy besides having sex? This isn't to say that sex doesn't matter, but it's just to get you to a certain attitude is to allow you to communicate a lot more effectively when it comes to these hard conversations about why you're not having sex, right? So sometimes we have to backpedal a little bit and check our attitude and be like, what's happening in my life? What am I attracting into my life based on what belief and attitude and mindset I have around it? Okay, so that's something that when it comes to your sex confidence, if you start believing that you're attractive, and maybe you look for evidence and like as to why your wife finds you attractive and that's what you're looking for, or you look for evidence on dates of what women do to show attraction to you, it changes your attitude. It makes you feel better about yourself. It makes you feel like, oh, I am good at this. If you have a sex experience and it goes well, instead of being like, okay, well, it went well this time, but next time that will probably happen again. I'll probably lose my erection next time. Catch that and be like, whoa, why did I go there? Like that was a great experience I just had. This is great. Be on the lookout for the evidence you want to see to help you shift your beliefs and your mindset, which will change future experiences to be more in your favor. The next way you can improve, or third way you can improve your sex confidence would be to take care of yourself and get fit. Okay. If you're a strong man and you take care of yourself as a person, you will start being more and more attracted to yourself. I find, for me at least, the more disciplined I am, the more attracted I am to myself. Like I feel better about myself. I feel like a more attractive woman. I feel like a more desirable woman, just in general, when I'm following through with the things I want in life. I'm following through with the actions it takes to get the things I want in life. And I am saying no to things that will steer me off that path. Right? And that usually comes in the form of me taking care of my body, whether that's, post-surgery right now, just going for walks and moving. Or self-care can also be saying no to certain people who try to, reach out to me or get me to do things that I don't want to. Boundary setting can be self-care. Sometimes self-care is getting enough sleep or going to bed early because you want to wake up for work and stay focused and get after what's important to you in life. When you're disciplined and you exercise and take care of your body and you're focused on a goal in life, that's so attractive to a woman. I think guys, it's so like underrated because there are so many guys who don't take care of themselves. Like they drink a ton on the weekend. Like they don't work out. They let people walk all over them. Like there's a lot of guys out there like that. So if you can just be disciplined, get good rest, chase a goal, and have some fun, you will be in the top like 10%. And even if you're, most of you guys are married too. So it's not even like you're doing this to attract a woman, but by you doing this will attract your woman more to you. It 100% will. And the better you could take care of yourself, the better you could take care of your family. And a fourth way to improve your sex confidence is to build your skill sets and your experience. Okay, so whether you are dating and you want to get more experience there, right? That means talking to more women. Maybe if you haven't talked to any women, it means looking at more women on a day-to-day. You have to start somewhere. You know what I mean? Start with where you're at. But you have to start building skill sets and getting comfortable around the things you want. Maybe if you're married and you want more sex, you want to build more skills in having more intimate connections with your wife. If you're not getting a lot of sex, you need to build the skill set of intimacy and connection. Like, what do we need to do to form more of a bond as a couple so that sex is more the thing to do in our relationship? That's the problem for a lot of you guys. You jump to sex. You jump straight to sex when your day-to-day, there's hardly any connection with you as a couple. It's just passing by. Hey, how was your day? Oh, nice. Okay, good night. Like, peck on the lips, and that's the most you go until it's time for you to try to get laid and then you want to have sex. Like, that doesn't work. So a lot of you need the skill set of intimacy building on a day-to-day basis. And what it takes to do that is having a conversation with your wife, with your partner. Because think about it, if you have a talk with your wife about connecting more, and then you guys end up connecting more, you're going to have a lot more confidence initiating sex after like 2 weeks of you guys connecting. If you go from like a peck on the lips to making out here and there, touching each other, having tickle fights, like doing really cute, like intimate couple things almost daily, think about how much more confident you'll be going into initiating. And it's not even like you have to do like mushy gushy stuff. I'm not saying that's for every couple, but you have to talk to see how you're both feeling about your life as a couple and what you can do to feel more connected so that sex feels better for both of you. And once you have those answers, even that simple conversation gives you sex confidence, right? So you're building sex communication skills. That's a skill. So see how building your skills and building experience gets you to the point where you're like, oh, I could do this. And once you have sex, you're like, it's fine. Whatever happens, it's fine because I have experience talking to her about this. I have been working on, holding off for longer, and it's been working during masturbation, so I feel more confident, right? It's working on the skills and gaining experiences. So I hope these 4 ways of building sex confidence speak to you and maybe show you an area that you could do some work on. And that's the thing. I think it's important to admit that if you're struggling, it means you have to work on something. It's not just going to come naturally. There's no magic pill that's just going to take away your sex problems. It's all you. And you have to know what is the main thing I need to be working on so that I can get what I want or what I feel I need in my relationship. And I think too many of you are thinking so generalized where you're just like, I want more sex. But there are steps before that you got to work on in order to have more sex. It doesn't just go from 0 to all of a sudden having sex and having it be great and you're connected and you're both loving it. Like it takes work to get there, and to stay there. And not as much work to stay there, but if you really fallen out of it, you got to understand, okay, this is going to take a little bit of work. And, I don't want it to take work, but that's what it takes. So it takes what it takes. And just because there's work to be done doesn't mean it's going to take years. Like the guy who doesn't do anything but try to initiate over and over and over, he'll be struggling his entire life because that's not the answer to the problem. The answer to the no sex problem is never just keep initiating and keep trying. No, because clearly something is in the way. The guy who puts in work and tries to think, okay, let me understand why when I initiate it doesn't work. What do I have to do? Let me talk to her. Okay, after I talk to her, maybe we can work on this together because it's not working. Maybe I can get more of my own shit together so that I feel better about my body and feel more confident, and then you move forward. But there's work to be done. That's okay. It's not a bad thing. And it doesn't mean it's going to take forever. Like I said, you could be that guy who just initiates and then ends up in the same place a year later. Or you could be the guy that's like, you know what, I'm going to put in the work. It's going to take about 5 months, maybe even less, 2 months, 3 months, 5 months, 6 months. But I'm going to see progress. And you have to think of it like that. Like if you would you rather put in some work and be guaranteed to see progress before the end of this year? Or do you want to just keep doing what you're doing, not put in work, not put in the smart work of trying to figure it out, and then be in the same place at the end of the year? Like, what's the obvious answer? Some of you are like, I know what to do. I'm just not doing it. Then this is your wake-up call. Like, start doing it and get specific if that will help you. Write it down, right? Like have daily reminders set in your calendar to connect with. Like it could be as simple as connect with her today. What should I do? Or a question, what can I do to connect with her today, one-on-one? That's a great question that most of you guys can ask yourself every day between now and the rest of the year. And your relationship will change if you do that one thing. Ask yourself one question every day. Or if you feel like I have no clue, I feel like I've tried everything, I feel like nothing's working, and I'm just in the same place I was last year, then maybe you want some help. So if you want to be in a different place than you are right now before the end of the year, then apply for coaching and work one-on-one with me. The application is in the description of this show. If you're a good applicant and I feel like I can definitely help you, then we'll have an intro call and we'll talk about what that looks like. I hope this is helpful. I love and appreciate you guys. Have an amazing morning, evening, or night, wherever you are in the world, and I'll talk to you soon.
I hope this episode helped you. If it did, I would love for you to leave me an iTunes review. It would mean the world to me. You can also screenshot your favorite episodes and tag me on Instagram at Steph Ganowski. And before I go, remember, your sex life is as good as you make it out to be. Until next time.